Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hey guys, welcome to another video. I am Hopperbean. Today I'm building. I'm building. Can you believe it? I'm building. I spent about an hour and a half on this build, so it wasn't a very big build. I just finished finals, guys. My brain feels like it's about to explode. I will be uploading a separate time-lapse that's unmonologued to this video later on, after this video comes out. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I love you. Bye-bye! So I started with a circle of terrain and slowly built one block up and then went out multiple blocks. None of it was symmetrical with it, and the goal was to make the middle part a little pond. Before I keep going on this, I'm actually gonna go ahead and explain the basics of apologies. Nope. The basics of manual terraining. It's meant to look natural. None of it is supposed to look symmetrical. As you can see from here, none of this is symmetrical. It's all over the place. This isn't even pulled out yet, but it's like all over the place, nothing symmetrical. It's kind of got, you know, it's just a weird shape, and it's meant to be like that. Like here, this is a little odd right here. I need to fix this because that doesn't look natural. That rarely happens when you load up a Minecraft world. Will you see just a straight thing of dirt like that, a straight diagonal? It's unnatural. So, when you're doing manual terrain, try to avoid it as much as possible. So I just kept going around, and on the last layer I pulled it out as much as possible. I ended up using blocks to just pull it out and get an actual structure of the dirt, of the terrain, so I could just fill it all in, because I was getting tired of just pulling it out as much as possible. That was actually a lot easier. And then I went under and I put stone under the dirt, so when I put in the details, because I wanted to use concrete powder, green concrete powder, to texture the dirt, so I put stone underneath so it could hold and it wouldn't just fall right through. So it's meant to be a base of the dirt. And this is when I started building the actual, like, stone, I guess, hedges around the actual terrain, because the goal was, like, this was like a hidden area, almost. So I started building up pieces of mountain and try to make it look like it was, like, kind of like a cave, but not a cave, like it was going to become a cave. So it was caved in a little bit, and then there were just pillars that kind of went up next to them. This one was just kind of straight out there. It wasn't meant to really look like the other area, the little mountain I just made. And I kept going around with this. Back of this like mountain thing, I pulled it back to give it more texture and more depth, so it didn't look so flat and empty. I got tired of the stone hedge mountain things, and I decided to put a dirt one in instead. And I did mix some stone into it, so it was still like a mountain piece, and it wasn't just there. Groceries just got here, so I had to take a break and go help with groceries. Our treats keep me going now. Oh my god! It just exploded on me. Oh, this is... I was just soaked in soda, so now I gotta change. And I gotta wash my hands. My hands were the most soaked. I'm all sticky now. I'm gonna take a shower after this. Ah! My seat is drenched still, and yet... Oh my god, this is the worst day. What? Because I just got drenched in soda! And my seat is drenched in soda! I'm going to, like, genuinely clean this at some point. But for now, I'm just going to sit on the towel. Here is when I started adding texture to the actual terrain. I used concrete powder, I used moss blocks, and I ended up using... First I started with wool, and I realized I didn't like how the wool looked. It did not match the terrain the way I wanted it to, so I switched to lime terracotta. I did look at the normal green terracotta and realized I didn't like that either. It was too dark. But I used all this to texture it. And then I went in and I used cobblestone, andesite, and I tried to use tuff to texturize the actual stone, but I didn't like it. It was too dark, so I ended up using gravel instead, which was a pain to actually use because it did not... It's like concrete powder, and some of the stone didn't have foundation under it, so I couldn't put it in certain places. So I used moss to add in a little bit more texture around the edges, around the... I added even more moss in the ground to actually put moss, because I use it as actual moss. Like, there's moss growing around the mountain pieces and the hill pieces. And I added vines to these to really emphasize the overgrown look. Then using the azalea leaves, I added little bushes in the corners to have like little shrubs around the edges. And this is when I started building the mushroom house, which I had to play with a little bit, like actually a lot, because I had actually, like, I have built a mushroom house before, but it was never one that I was just like this, where it was like straight up. It was like, it was all over the place, the mushroom. I had built this when I was trying to go for a healthier looking mushroom that didn't grow out of, you know, all over the place. I did have to play with the roof, the actual top of the mushroom a lot, because I've never actually built one that I was happy with. I did end up coming up with something that I liked that went with it. I did, as you can see, I played with it quite a bit to actually get the round feeling of the mushroom, and here's when I got it, so. And then I went around and I added all of it to every side. Connected the top of the mushroom to the actual stem of the mushroom, and then I went inside and I added birch to the layers. There's about 4 layers inside this actual house, and then I used vines as a way to get between the layers, and I used lanterns to actually decorate it. Then I went about and I added lighting to the rest of the area. I added glowstone to the actual mushroom. I added little mushrooms, not like the in-game ones, but built ones, and then I used glowstone and moss carpets to light up the actual ground. And then I used birch fences and candles to light up the outside of the mushroom. At the end, I added flowers, grass, and lily pads to the rest of the terrain to really add to it. And that was all. Alright, and that's the end of this video, this build, this this build didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to. I actually made it a little bit smaller than I originally intended to. But that is my fault. I think that was an error with how I built the terrain. I could have made it go up a little bit more, given it a little bit more depth, and it would have been fine. I will be uploading an unmonologued time-lapse for you guys to watch, so you don't have to hear me explain everything. It will be separate from this video, so if you guys would like to go and watch that too, I did mention that at the very beginning of the video, then it should be up by the time, around the same time that this video goes up, maybe a day later. So if you're watching this the day of, it might not be up, but it should be up. This is actually the type of builds I really enjoy doing, is the very kind of cute cottagecore terrain type of look where it's just everything is overgrown like that. I really enjoy that. I always thought it was super pretty. I love looking at abandoned buildings and just how overgrown they are. I'm pretty proud of this little house here. I think this is a good starter home. Obviously the blocks used, besides the birch, are pretty hard to get right off the bat. You need silk touch and such. Now I gotta go take a nice shower to get all of this soda off of me, because not only are my hands sticky, but my legs are, because it spilled all over my crotch, all over my pants, all over my jacket, my good hoodie. On that note, I will see you guys hopefully in another video just like this. I hope you enjoyed, and bye-bye!